Hello, everyone. Welcome to my hangout, Nutrition versus the God Morality Philosophy Jackoff we've been having lately on the Great Debate community. I've noticed that there's just been a lot of hangouts as of late worrying about things like philosophy. Um, Let me see, I'm just scrambling here, still scrambled eggs in the morning. Good morning. Hope you all had a good week. All right. The reason people care about these things here, okay, locally, not in the general, the reason people care about them here is because it's like this never-ending thing to talk about, conversation. It's a safe thing than dealing with other things of greater importance, okay? One can construct things within philosophy and then deal with that easier than real-life phenomena. Okay, should anybody call foul on that sort of behavior and thinking here? I mean, that's what the whole community is about, the great debate, right? The discussion between atheists and theists. One side has no evidence whatsoever, and the other side just mentions that observation that there's no evidence. There should be no further argument, but there is. Well, not even argument, but I mean, sort of, what would you say, mitigating factor of things that don't exist within reality, right? Uh, a great debate community about Santa Claus exists somewhere, surely, right? About leprechauns, unicorns. Okay. If you, I'm trying to think of a good place to start. If you remember, there was a video. It came out like last week or the week before of Skylar Fiction that he put out when I was in this, just, popped into a NeoClouds hangout, just friendly visit. I do that, just pop in. I don't go on any sort of mission, to necessarily destroy a theist hangout, like on a mission, an anti-theist mission. I just like showing up and just, talking, seeing what happens, man, what the views are. And of course, that Scholar Fiction was about, how not to apologize, how to be apologists, right? And what happened was that the group of Christians were just kicking people out. Well, kicking this one guy out, and there was that many people out who just didn't get, the God concepts as they see it, right? Okay, well, just to give you a quick view on that. Okay, that is something of importance to theists who aligns with their vision of the way reality works. Fine. I mean, I guess you could say the same thing about NASA or the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, right? I mean, it matters if you see reality within their consensus view, right? And I mean, if your people's lives depend on you, you better see reality the way they're seeing it, testable. Well, with the Christian, it's you look at that, and it's not so much that they worry about the testability of the reality. It's more about the groupthink, the adherence, the preference of believing that such a thing exists must come first before the belief. I mean, before becoming a member of that not tribe. Can I say tribe? So you go in there as a non-believer, or let's say as somebody who doesn't even know about the God concept, right? You question about it, perhaps voice some doubts or common sense questions, and you are rejected out of hand, right, from the group. Why should anybody give substance to that sort of thinking? I mean, give validity to it. You see where I'm coming from? And then, I demonstrated it, right? I got kicked out myself. The thing is that, okay, for me, to be fair, it's like I look at the great debate community almost like a sort of chess club or something, honestly. It's like you learn the moves. I've watched plenty of chess matches, and you learn the moves that people can do legally. And then when you go to a hangout where they're discussing theology and philosophy, mysticism, whatsoever, once you watch the moves to see if they align with what you understand the dogma to be. Once you see people, trying illegal moves, like let's say they take their knight and try to move it in a diagonal fashion, or move it, horizontal, anywhere except, the L shape of the knight, then you can say, well, wait a minute, that is an illegal move, right? Well, I go into the hangouts, demonstrate, what evangelism is, and once they come up with their moves that they're trying to do, it's not so much that one wants to damage the fantasy. Well, I like to bring things up, observations, right? But at this point, it's not so much that I think that it has any sort of merit or validity whatsoever. It's just what it is, right? It's a chess game, right? So you go into the hangout and you're watching the chess moves, and I mean, if they don't correlate with what is dogma or what is held, and that I guess that's what you could say. I always blast people on their philosophical stance. It's like, I don't understand. Philosophy hasn't proved anything is real in our reality. Just thinking about stuff in a room, you must test. You must see if it has any sort of substance within a material world reality, right? And I'm not like I'm dogmatic about holding to that view, because I've heard other views that interest me about the merits of philosophy. But when you're dealing with people that are just solely banking on the philosophical notion of these things existing within our reality, yes, you can expose their specious chess moves. I think one can do that. Yes. Okay. Well. Okay. Let's leave that there. What I'm trying to say is that you can examine these things from sitting in the audience and seeing if they hold any water within your own thinking. Be it you do not believe in God, you want to see if they have any sort of well, not logic. That's because there's some people that abuse logic. It's like I'm saying, like Shamos. The way it's just an argument to him, logic, but something that holds like some sort of material in our reality, some sort of substance, some sort of, yes, I mean, we can all agree with that, and we can also test it. Okay. All right. I've said many times that the community is about the people, not so much the discussions, what kind of people are coming in. I enjoy my friends. I like to support them. I like, just puffing people, when they have questions, or just offering some sort of succor to their problems that they might be had, everyday problems, from personalities from Christian hillbilly all the way to my other friends. I think of like Tim Woodacre. I mean, there's a gigantic span that we have in this community that we can traverse, which I enjoy, of a community. The only thing that sort of gets me is like, this, endless merry-go-round that just never changes of God talk. I just wonder, if they're trying to groom a new G-man, because it used to be two things, it used to be G-man or God talk. Now we're having the God talk overdrive now for 2 weeks. Now I wonder for G-man, if they're going to come up with a G-man replacement to stick in and, take up the slack. Well, the other part of this, hangout that I like to have, I don't know if anybody will come or anybody even watch this, so I'm just pretty much, is nutrition. I think nutrition is it's more fascinating, just more substantive than talking about the Trinity, or talking about Saint Aquinas. I mean, that stuff is not of much use today, as much as one's health, one's advancement towards longevity. I watch other people's videos, and I'm just curious if they think that way too. You know, if they are as fascinated as I am as far as fitness. I wonder. I think I'm the only guy sometimes hollering out into the void. Um, Things that fascinate me now about fitness is, I guess, supplementation. You know, I examine all aspects. You know, the workout, dieting, supplementation, um, recovery, sleep. And I look at other people too, and I just, you know, they can talk about God all day, but I wonder if like just if fitness could change their life even more so than what they profess says actually does, you know. And there's other people too that are, I would say, you know, quality Christians. How can I say? Well, I mean, uh, quality Christian. What's a better word than quality? Like bona fides. They're bona fides in Christianity. It's like Tommy Hall, right? And he's into nutrition and fitness. I've talked long conversations with Tommy about fitness, you know, enjoyable stuff too. So, I mean, it's something. What I'm trying to tell y'all, it's something that can transcend the God talk, and that everybody can, atheists to theists, we can talk about, you know, how to take care of oneself. You know, I think it's fascinating. Well, let me go ahead and send the invites out and see if anybody wants to. I also put this thing in the public comments too. Let me see, what else have I been doing? Let me do this. Well, just been looking at music videos, talking to people, puffing them. Let me see. All right, dump that in. Okay, well, I've been doing this. It's like, I know I'm going to have a hangout. I mean, you know, these are hangouts, right? They call them hangouts. That's what they're mechanically called, but they're really like vlogs in a way. I know I'm going to have a vlog coming up, maybe, you know, 2 weeks from the end of this month, or from August, or close to the end of August, about where I'm at, uh, my own fitness, you know, personal. But, you know, just for now, for this hangout, I think I'd just like to, you know, vlog, just talk about in the general. When people are like, want to change their life, you know, the needle hits zero, and you actually made up the mind that you're going to do something different with your life. Like in my case, it's like I just, last year this time, let me see, I would say like a month before this time last year, I was like 250 pounds, right? And I've whittled myself down to like 191 now, so I've lost almost 60 pounds. Thing is that things have changed. I mean, there's nothing, no doubts about it. When you throw off a lot of unnecessary weight, you can definitely move things in a different direction in your life, the better, right? Well, for this part, I just like to say is how to get started in that, right? First off, there are support groups. This is a support group. The Great Debate Community, I mean, if you know, hang out, meet people, other people, you can talk with them. That's how I very much. I don't think I would say if I was not in, if I didn't meet a particular person in this community, I probably would be still up at 250. But the needle hit zero, and I just decided, hey man, I just want to lose weight because I just wanted to be more active. I was very active. Activity. Okay, so just to make it simple, right? The needle hit zero. You want to change your life, so you adopt an activity, and it doesn't have to be. I could say it can be very prosaic. It can be very basic, your activity. In my case, it was just beginning to walk around the neighborhood. And that led to, you know, losing some weight. You know, I probably like just walking around the neighborhood, I must have lost like 20 pounds, honestly. Maybe not even that much, maybe 15 or 16, but it was substantial, right? Then joining the gym, and that's where it really turn loose. And the gym, you know, many are hesitant about joining the gym because they think it's something not for them, that it's not exactly a scene for them, that they don't fit into the gym, right? But funny enough, it's like I just fit in really well at the gym. It's pretty social. Met a lot of friends. I like the activity. So you'd be surprised. What I'm trying to say is, like, if you jump into it, you know, you might be surprised. It won't meet your expectations. When you feel like quitting, right? You want to do the fitness thing. You start, and maybe you feel like there's some things you can't surmount, or like things don't happen right away. I mean, you also have, like, you know, I have charts where it says, like, you know, at this point in time, I'm going to be like 180 pounds, right? But it's, you know, you learn things that it just takes a lot of work to lose a lot of weight. But once you build on it, you know, it's just, what I'm trying to say is that you just start and then build upon it. You start walking around the neighborhood, start getting a little bit more active, and then you take a look at your diet, exactly, things that you can change it. It's kind of funny in my case. Well, you know, what I'm trying to do is, like, save this for the hang I'm going to have later. You know, a couple of weeks from now. I don't want to, you know, give away too much for that, but things will change. You know, you start being more active, and then you're like, well, let's take a look at the diet, right? And diet is, it's funny. It's like, you don't think it's everything, but then it comes. You know, it's just like, diet is always that one thing that you can use to lose weight. It's like, sure, if you're eating like a box of donuts every week, you can cut that out, and, you know, that'd be a major addition to your endeavors for losing weight. You know, those are common sense things, but I mean, there's other things in diet, like how exactly to eat, that I've learned in this past couple of months. All right, y'all, let me see if I can round up some of my cronies here. Let me see. I am here. Just sending out invites. Well, let me see. Day off from my gym today, so just take it easy. Saw the dentist. You know how well that goes. I don't, you know, I think some people have the idea that I go to the gym a lot. Well, I do go to the gym a lot, but not like every day. I go like 5 times a week. So yeah, I do have days off. Try, your body needs to recover. Well, recovery phase is like your muscles only tend to like grow or get stronger when you're resting, right? When you're like working out and straining them, that's not at the time that they necessarily grow or get better. It's just the time that the fibers break down. And then actually when you're resting and sleeping, that night, that's when they improve on you, get bigger. Um, so a big part of like, if you guys are, well, I hope you all get into fitness is just actual recovery, how to do it, getting plenty of sleep. Don't you have guys wonder like these people that are up all night in the hangouts, it's like, rest. What else do they do? I mean, not as far as you know, expectations, but I mean, they need the rest properly. Um, Proper rest, nutrition, of course, right? Just I do eat. I still eat junk food. Still have cheat days. Um, like tomorrow, I'm gonna go to Burger King. I love Burger King. Burger King's gotten a lot better. Once in a while, Taco Bell. Okay, where I work at, where I go to at the gym, we have plenty of lady bodybuilders, right? And I talk with them all the time. And okay, you encounter these people with really, how would you say, disciplined and intense and intricate nutrition, how they eat. They have to carry around their cooler with them, because they do contests, right? So they have to have the proper amount of nutrition. They just can't, go out to eat or anything like that. Very disciplined. And you study it, initially, and you wonder if that's the direction you go. But just to use Joe and Jane lunch bucket off the street, diet or fitness is like, there's easier ways and more conventional ways that you can approach dieting and meal portions. A good book that I got off Amazon, a Kindle, is this guy named Brandon Carter, and he's on YouTube, Brandon Carter. And he has two 99-cent books, and for $2, these books, they're really handy, common sense, how to diet, how to get into fitness. They're interesting, funny. He's a funny, interesting guy. To me, it's striking. Like you have to see it to believe it, right? He's called Big Brandon Carter. He's this totally ripped guy, and he's 6'2", so he's my size, right? And he's 180, and I mean, he's bigger than me, right? And I'm 191. So it makes this what muscles do to you. I mean, his waist, my waist is probably bigger than his, but his waist is just muscular. Then he has really low body fat. And anyway, you look at these people, like, even though I meet them at the gym, I read their books. I read their books and see where they're coming from. But when you actually meet them, like at our gym, we have a trainer, and her name is Cindy Flannery, right? And she came in her category. She came in 4th in Miss Universe, I guess they call it. And is this, you ever imagine this? Imagine like a bikini girl with muscles layered on. I mean, that's how striking it is. Just a girly girl, right? Just a bikini girl with just muscles layered on. And talk to her about nutrition. She's the best trainer at our gym as far as this attitude and getting stuff done, because she's just a disciplined person, man. And you can learn a lot from just hanging around with some people. That's one good thing about the gym. Think about it. You just hang around some of these people, man. Just see what they're thinking, see what they're about. All sorts of lady bodybuilders at the gym. All of them are friendly. Well, all sorts. We have some male bodybuilders too. Pal out with some of them. Some guys are just in their own world. Like maybe one guy it really just comes to my mind, somebody who I haven't been able to ever, reach or just converse with, but all the bodybuilder type dudes, just talk with them. We had this guy Aiden, and he's just got a job going to New Orleans, and he's a cable puller, right? But he's also a bodybuilder, right? Cable puller, Time Warner, cable guy, and he's moving on up, a really good job. And it's funny, it's like he took a trip. He just he gets these trips, and he goes like a week in Jamaica. Right, that's the latest trip that he did, and he went down there, and the guy's ripped as hell, right? And everybody thinks he's a celebrity, right? Because he has the tattoos, his muscles, and he's all signing autographs. But he's just Joe Lunch Bucket Fitness guy. I don't think he's ever competed, but he's that ripped enough that he can. And he enjoys his trips, and he comes to the gym. He's always telling me how dedicated I am. Seeing a really ripped dude, and then telling me, Mr. String Bean, compared to him, right? How dedicated I am. Learn exercises from these people too. When you first get to a gym, they want you to, sign up on a program or something, take a trainer. The thing is that, if you're, what I'm trying to say is, like, if you're trying to be affordable, just trying to get in for the first time, maybe you just ought to go and watch these people and then make up your mind if you want to jump on a program. Because, you just go to the gym, you meet these people, they teach you things. I mean, they just give you advice, show you how to do things. You can learn stuff from YouTube, right? But then also at the gym, you can hang, even the trainers walking by, they'll just tell you something. Hey, do this. So, you can get a lot out of it just showing up at the gym. If you show up, that's the whole thing, man. That's a victory. Just show up at the gym. You watch people, mingle with them, seeing what they're about. Getting, to me, the gym, in the way I look at it, is like an art studio. And you may not understand. It's like if you had a painting place where you could go and paint a picture every day, that's what the gym is. It's like, I have like 3 workouts, but my Monday, Wednesday, Friday workout is just like, something that is, I wouldn't say set in stone, but it's like something that I do a certain way all the time. But it's like a painting in that, if you compared that Monday to the Wednesday to the Friday, it'd be like a little different painting, but a different idea, a different thing that I got out of the workout. So what I'm trying to say is, like, let's say you're a creative type, or just a type that says, oh man, we're going in here, we're lifting weights, or a female saying, shoot, man, I got to do this for 60 minutes of stuff. Well, you can develop a workout where it's like just, your own creative thing. You're aiming at things that you want to do. You want to see what happens. Yeah, I mean, it gets that varied, that interesting. It's just not, going up and walking an hour on a treadmill. For me, I did like 30 minutes on a bike just to warm up, and then everything else is workout. And then at the end of the workout, I like to do some elliptical, cardio, just so I can just leave it at the gym, be tired at the gym. Hold on a second, guys. No chick side chat. Hello, Renee and Sugar. Hello. Okay. Excellent day. Okay, so keeping with the nutrition vibe. All right, so Cindy pasted up all these flyers at the gym saying that she's ready to take on all comers about nutrition. I think, like, maybe she's not in contest right now. I don't know. I didn't get really like a straight answer out of her, like if she wanted to do a Texas contest or something. But as far as I detect, she has not gone off her dieting. I mean, she's really keeping herself dry. Dry means that, they want to keep vascular and lean. They're not bulking or anything like that. She's I mean, I would say either late 30s or early 40s. So, I mean, I don't know if that's a factor. Just giving her, her age, it's just interesting. Maybe if she was younger, she'd be like trying to bulk up all the time, or maybe now at this point of her career, she just wants to, keep it dry. Anyway, so she's keeping herself dry, right? So interesting. Maybe she's going to compete again, but now she's, you know, put a flyer saying that she wants to talk nutrition, you know, with whoever wants to do it. So yeah, I could humor her. But the only thing is, like, I don't have that sort of money to throw down on so many supplements. I'm like doing enough now, topped out supplement wise. I think I just do two places. I do Amazon and I do Puritan Pride, right? And I only do these things, you know, if they give you like some super killer deal on a supplement, am I going to buy it? And then Amazon is just, I don't know if you guys know this, Amazon is just kicking ass as far as pricing and just ease of getting shit. So I do it that way. But, you know, if she's doing it, I just might go chitty chat her up. You know, she loves talking nutrition like other trainers. You know, you go ask them something like, one thing impressed upon me was like I wasn't getting enough protein, you know, like I'd say like a month and a half ago. So like I went to go see a trainer and ask about, you know, ideas, and she's, you know, prints out something from the computer and hands it to you. Here you go. Thanks. Right. You know, fuck, I could have looked on Google for that. But then you talk to somebody like Cindy, who's like, you know, she'll just bam, you know, impress upon you her knowledge. Then you know, what I'm trying to say is you're going to meet all types of experts at the gym, as far as trainers, people that are into it, and people that, you know, more worried about tanning themselves and seeing what the hell you're about. So she's doing the nutrition thing, and let me see if I can do the nutrition. Jumping into it is like, it depends on what you're trying to do, and for fitness, well, for like, I would say bodybuilding, but you know, I mean, okay, the thing is when you go to a gym, it's all, I mean, that's their thing, bodybuilding. It's like if you went to a country western bar, you know, they're not gonna whip out Depeche Mode all of a sudden. I mean, they're always gonna be doing, you know, Willie or Dwight Yoakam or something. You know, they're locked in to bodybuilding at gym. So there's only two words that they use. They use cutting and bulking. All right, cutting is dieting, right, where you're trying to go down, cutting, and bulking is where you're trying to bulk up, like you're skinny and you're trying to muscle up, right? So, okay, how does this work with supplements? When they're talking supplements, some supplements are about bulking, you know, some supplements are about cutting. That's really like the way they're coming from, I would say, on the whole. I mean, I guess they could put some nuances to the supplement that you're getting, but it's really bulking or cutting. And I would say like okay, what supplements am I after that I you know, think are worthwhile? Well, there's only like three things when you're like at my age, I'd say middle age, right? 50s. What happens is that you want to tone, right? Tone your body. You want to retain your muscle mass. You don't want to lose muscle or get flabby, right? And then the third thing is you want to dig out fat, because fat is just, the older you get, the more toxic fat becomes in the general, as far as what's going to happen to you later on. You know, if you're really obese, you're going to pay with it with heart problems, cancers, so forth. So as you get older, if you can lose unnecessary fat, that's one of the things. So it's only three things, right? Toning is all about, you know, exercise, activity, right? That you keep your muscles active, as you do something. If you're sitting down all day, you know, you owe it to yourself to activate those muscles somewhat. You know, that's toning. The fitness. Retaining muscle mass. Okay, now we can get into supplement territory, because there are supplements that you can get a hold of that will mitigate the effects of aging. They say, they claim. Enough people claim. How can I say that? You know, you only know if you try it, you know, and you get effects from it, right? So one that mitigates the effects of aging, retaining muscle mass, is this thing called acetyl L-carnitine, ALA, Alcar, right? Alcar, ALCAR, right? And what it is this substance that they can synthesize, right? It's a substance that is found in meat. right? That is sort of like an insulin imitator. Okay, I can explain insulin, how it works. I guess a little bit in the general. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is that, what aging is your cells eventually degrade. That they just, what your cells were when you were 20 far supersedes what your cells are when you're 50, as far as their ability and what they do. So you can get antioxidants, and I guess I go with insulin imitators that can, bring energy into your cells, because your cells are probably starved for that energy, and you retain your muscle mass. So Alcar, ALCAR is one. ALA is a oxidant that they usually, put these pills together. Oh, an easier way of thinking about it is like, what a problem we have with diabetes uh, now in America, because we have such processed food and sugar. We have a diabetes problem, right? And then, everybody like my age, you get worried that you're going to eventually insulin resistant, right? Your cells are just going to get insulin resistant. They'll just ignore the insulin and you get type 2 diabetes. Well, stuff like Alcar and LAA, there's eventually, a prophylactic against that. If before you hit diabetes, pre-diabetic, or even pre-diabetic, you can take these supplements to help yourself as far as the strain that your pancreas is putting out with insulin. All right, just a quickie. I don't know. I'm sure it's like these things are like, maybe you guys know them, maybe you don't. Insulin. Okay, insulin is like something that's secreted by the pancreas that keeps homeostasis of your blood sugar within your circulatory system, right? And what happens is if you did the traditional American diet now, you realize that we have like an obesity problem. If you keep with the traditional American diet, what happens is that your cells become resistant to insulin, and your insulin gets high, your glucose gets high, and you get fatter, and eventually you start having problems like pornography, ketoacidosis, or something. Your your sugar goes all over the place if you don't take care of it. You can go into diabetic coma and shit like that. But insulin's good, dude. Insulin is good if you know how to use it right. If you know how can I say, insulin is something that you can use to your favor, and as far as your health. If you're going to do activities, lead a very active lifestyle or just walk around, okay, you can do your activity, walk around in there, and as soon as that, you do want to have a little bit of an insulin spike, right? So there's like, you could eat like a Twinkie, right? After you've walked around, it's a decent time to have a carbohydrate insulin spike. But there's better, more nutrient rich foods to take than a Twinkie. You could eat like an apricot or something, and get a good effect from your insulin spike. Anyway, stuff like these supplements that was, Alcar, it's like you eat these things when you eat, and they do the part of insulin, helping your cells metabolize the food better. So there are supplements that you can look into as far as that. Okay, well, let's think of what were we talking about? Okay, digging out fat, right? Okay, I don't know if you guys have heard, well, yes, sure, Atkins diet, ketogenic diets, right? Essentially what they want to do is like lower your carbs enough to where like your body decides to dig into the fat repositories and use the fat instead of the carbohydrates that are flowing, through your intake, to dig out fat, right? That's a diet you can use, if you wish. There's other, to me, it's like, in my shape, I'm on ectomorph, so like for me, it's all protein. I have to get more protein in. It's not so much, cutting down carbs or increasing fats or cutting down fats, okay, how could I say it? It's like, to me, everything's wrapped in carbohydrates and fats. It's the thing is, protein. You need to get the protein because everything's within what you're eating, the nutrients. So you want to dig out fat, right? Um, that means you got to get your metabolism going. You have to start eating things that, you know, benefit an active lifestyle. Um, and how could you say discipline your eating as far as like what time of day it's happening at, so forth. Um, and what when you start a diet or when you dive in, right? You can. I mean, it's essential. Well, how can I say it's essential that you do have cheat days, that you have days where you actually eat what you used to eat, right? It's not like, okay, let's say you always enjoyed your double bacon cheeseburger, right? Okay, you always enjoyed your double bacon cheeseburger. If you just like totally cut it off and go weeks on end, I mean your body's just going to go into starvation mode, just shut down. So you're going to have that double bacon cheeseburger every once in a while, once a week maybe. Yeah, you can have double bacon cheeseburger as long as you're active, and you eat well the other days. But anyway, that's what I'm trying to press upon you is like, you know, it's not like a Nazi thing where go on a Nazi diet and just freaking you know vegan diet, right? All of a sudden you can't eat meat anymore. You can pretty much stay within what you knew. You just have to of course portion control. The reason that it's not like I was the type of guy who ate like a whole box of donuts a week. It was just like I was just a 2 meal a person day. But I wasn't very active. But now I'm active. But what happened, what I noticed, guys, is that I went down to like a meal and a half a day. And so now I'm going to cut down. I'm going to cut all the way until like the end of September, and then October, November, December, I'm just going to reverse diet. I'm just going to build my metabolism back up, stronger, hopefully. So it's just getting the discipline of eating twice a day. If you guys eat more, that's great, man. That's just, you may think it's not disciplined if you're eating a lot a day, but when you start dieting, working out, it's going to be a skill, man. Being able to eat more than twice a day. I don't know what happened. It's just I just eat once and I feel good. Let me think. Digging fat out through dieting, foremost, right? You're going to dig out fat when you're just exercising, right? Because that's being burned off. That would burns the fat, but just dieting. They always talk about low-fat foods, right? Yeah, in the whole, depending what you're aiming at. Like they have, okay, this is what came to my mind. Like say they have regular cottage cheese, they have like half cottage cheese and low, fat free, like right? Regular cottage cheese, low fat cottage cheese, and fat free, right? It's like I always go fat free because it's not so much like, oh, I'm scared about getting fats, but I want to know what fats, I want to pick the fats that I eat to go in. So like, I'll do the fat free cottage cheese because I know I'm going to eat, fish, get the fat, the healthier fats from that way. So I don't worry about the fats necessarily coming from the cottage cheese. And plus, the way I eat cottage cheese, it's not taste dependent. It's just it's not like a filler, You get these things like whey proteins, right? You can buy powdered protein and then put that in your food or drink, and then that's how you get your protein. That's the way I do it too. I do eat meat, but I also do protein mix. What else do I know? Okay, well, let's say you do go on a diet and you do go into fitness, and then it's like, well, maybe Bunto, I should put like X amount of money away on supplements. Which ones should I get? For me, I have to get the protein powders because just that activity. If you get a very active, lifestyle going with your diet, protein, you just got to have the protein to, keep the muscles going. So I get protein powder. It's affordable. like, you know, $20 for a 2-pound vat, and, you know, that'll last you a month. Just something to knock down, you know, the only protein powder right after, you know, during the workout or right after it, of course. I do it during now because it's just, the workout is just so freaking long. Other things, they had this, okay, rolling out creatine, right? Creatine is this substance that gets into your muscles, makes them fill out and gives you an extra, you know, it can help you get the bar up type supplement, creatine. And that's just, you know, if you're an active, if you're working out at the gym, you might as well take creatine. But if you're just like, you know, walking around the neighborhood, you don't need to take creatine. If any sort of activity where you have to do something like get the bar up, think about that, creatine. Let me see, what else do I use? Okay, very good. Okay, so protein is important, right? Well, the thing is, guys, it's not like protein is what goes directly into your muscles, right? You eat like a hamburger, the protein, you know, gets in your system. It's not like the cells directly feast upon the protein. What they feast upon is something called amino acids, right? The protein gets broken down into these basic amino acids that the, you know, cells get to pick and choose what they need. Some are non-essential amino acids, some are essential, right? So anyway, this is what scientists have done. Scientists have figured out how to synthesize these essential amino acids and put it in pill form. So, you know, okay, well, you always want to keep your metabolism going. You know, if you're like active and looking to get yourself all ripped. Okay, that's the only reason I wanted to get ripped. You know, all of a sudden I said, why don't I get ripped? So I got into fitness, right? If you want to, you know, keep that going all the time, you have to take like this thing called BCAAs, branch chain amino acids. And what it is just like, think of it as like, you know, the nutrients that your muscles grow in. You don't have to eat tons of the stuff. I mean, it's just, you know, you're getting most of your substance from food, right? But there's like these BCAA pills and powders that you can use to, you know, keep the party going. That's one way I look at it. I look at it like a party. Okay, honest. It's like you want to see who wants to hang around at the party when you changed up the music. And, you know, I was 250 pounds and I changed up the music and people started leaving that party, right? And then you want to see who's going to stick around at that party, right? A lot of fat left that party. Some muscle left that party. And to me, that muscle was just weak muscle, right? Because I got a lot of stronger muscles coming in, liking what I was doing. So you want to keep the party going. You know, you don't want to just because I mean, what happens, you know, if you don't give yourself enough energy, it's like your activity, your workout, you know, I won't say suffer, but it gets weaker. It's like, wow, you know, I was a lot stronger that day. So just keeping the, you know, the beat going, keeping the system going. BCAAs do that. So if you start getting active and looking into that, BCAAs. And as far as my research is, I mean, you know, I think BCAAs are more, what would you say, mundane, more accepted than even creatine. Creatine is a very, you know, some people will still have apprehensions about creatine, but creatine on the whole is like one of the most basic accepted supplements. But now BCAA is even more so, right? There's other stuff that you can take. It's like weird stuff, but as far as I can ascertain in this year I've been doing it, it's just like BCAAs, creatine. You know, if you're doing a lot of resistance workout, and I've heard so much good stuff about Alcar and ALA that I use it. Protein powder, of course. I guess that's even more so. Well, almost like BCAAs, protein powder. I mean, who complains about protein powder? Maybe some people do, but I don't. Well, I could say on the whole, I don't think people complain. Okay, protein powder. You know, I've saw in a Brandon Carter video. He says essentially it's baby formula. You know, it's what they use in baby formula. Whey. What other supplements do I use? Well, okay, vitamins, right? I use a B complex. I use glucosamine for the joints, right? Stuff that, you know, fish oils. You guys heard of omega-3, omega-6, and, you know, EPA and DHA and all that stuff. Just stuff to, I think that's mostly, you know, prophylactic against cancer and stuff like that. But what I've noticed from using fish oils is like perks you up, you know. I'll pop a gummy while I'm talking to somebody, just feel a little better, you know, just a little pickup. Okay, you can also spend like a buttload of money on other supplements, but I would just advise those. Let me think. Well, let me see. I was kind of hoping that this would have more appeal than God Talk, but what do I know? I do feel like a little chaotic about, you know, being the only guy who's hammering fitness here all the time. But I mean, you know, I think it's more interesting than worrying about, you know, absolute morality or whatever, objective morality. I don't believe in any of that stuff. I mean, to me, it's like something you can, you know, posit and hypothesize, but it just really doesn't have any substance to what you're doing, actually. Okay, well, here's a word, you know, just the general health of the great debate community. Um, I mean, is that indicative that nobody comes in here and nobody wants to, you know, people are, you know, more than once in a while, people tell me to shut the fuck up about, you know, nutrition and shit. I mean, just, I don't know what it is. I mean, I just think it is like they feel safer. They feel much safer in their freaking God talk than stuff that is actual substantive, you know? Um, there's no argument to, you know, bettering your life through fitness. I mean, like argument against it, you know what I mean? Um, I don't know, I've just been talking. Let me think. I mean, yes, there are other issues. I guess like 2 weeks ago, you know, marriage equality was interesting. Um, I guess it's sort of worn off now. I mean, there were so many, like, you know, butt hurting videos about it. Just you know, the only it's strange enough, you know, people come into and out of the community, and there was this one person I know that I would just definitely wanted to hear their view on marriage equality, Pyongyang, but I haven't seen him in a while, so what can you do? Um, the only thing of real substance that's come lately that's, you know, obviously is just police violence, this law enforcement trajectory that we're on as far as what goes on, as far as traffic stops and, you know, things that were just, they are benign, uh, you know, should be of no consequences, ending so badly, you know, with people dying. Um, I saw a video by a young man the other day, 2 days ago, and he was just, I mean, this is, people are just starting to express themselves. It's just, I mean, where are we going in this country with that sort of behavior? I know that we do owe a lot of gratitude towards our first responders and law enforcement stuff, but that doesn't put them above, you know, above the benefit of society, above the health of our body as a society. You know, we just can't have antagonists. I always think of from the point of the mayor. You know, if one of these episodes went down on my time, says, do you realize what you just exposed, you know, the whole town to? You know, besides the, you know, the damage to that person's family that you've done, but I mean, you know, just the unrest that we're going to have. You know, if I was a big city mayor, I make it a point to, you know, tell all law enforcement, hey, you know, we cannot have this sort of behavior going on anywhere in our area. I mean, just look at the consequences they're going to have. Sometimes it can't be helped though, because look at that DPS incident. I mean, I'm sure the mayor of Hempstead, you know, what control can you have over, you know, the DPS trooper? Just, you know, they're part of the state. They're not a part of your municipality. Um, I know that there are some, I would just say a few, that choose to put the blame on the victim for these sort of activities that go on. You know, Sandra Bland, it's her fault. I think that's just ridiculous, because it's just, if I was a supervisor of that DPS, I would say, well, you know, can you not figure out better people to arrest, more more viable targets than, you know, some lady who ran a stop sign. And look at the, you know, I don't know why somebody should be held for 3 days for, You know, you have a gigantic cop versus a woman, diminutive woman. But, you know, that's just something that went south. It should have never happened. Anyway, that's something that's come up. I don't know if anybody in the community has really just talked about lately. I've seen it outside the community, that young man, but I haven't seen any one of our personalities just talk about it to be of interest lately. No, they're just talking to their safe thing. Maybe that is the consequence. You know, they'd rather talk God talk than what's going on in the outside world. Well, I'll tell you that. I'd like to thank all our viewers, everybody who watched, and you know, who might. If you have any questions to ask me about nutrition, I'd be just more than happy to lend you any of my expertise. And I wish you all a happy weekend and enjoy the rest of the summer. Take care.